first off, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone that wished me a happy birthday. I really appreciate that. Normally, I do like this long, mushy status of how I feel every year after a birthday. We really don't celebrate holidays too much in our family, but I think that birthdays are definitely one of them that should be celebrated because you made it another year and you have a lot of different things that you have taken in. So I wanted to bring up, oh my goodness, um, a couple things that I really learned this year. I think probably the number one thing is to learn to let go of control when it comes to like circumstances, but also be true to yourself. This year has been an overwhelming year to keep up with things that we really wanted to do, but also having to deal with the HOA. And every time I felt like, oh, okay, well, we did this, something came that kind of knocked that out of how I was feeling at the time. But that's okay. We're still moving and bending and going with the flow, and it's not going to stop us with the dog's over there smooshing around in the grass. It's not going to stop us from what we need to do as a family and what we value as important, but sometimes you just gotta freaking bend and flow with what you're presented. So I really appreciate that lesson this year, and still knowing that you're doing amazing. It doesn't have to go as planned all the time, and that's okay, because most of the time life doesn't work that way. But you can still keep true to who you are and what your values are in between the blows. I honestly think that's something that I really learned this winter too, because when I was younger, I could deal with cold, and then I got comfortable and I get out of scarcity, and I was like, don't like cold, I want to be comfortable. And I always felt like I didn't love winter after that. I'd be like, I hate it. I feel like I don't want to be here. We live in a zone where we have 150 about ish days of a frost free season. So about half the year it is freaking cold, and I used to hate it, but this year I was so glad to delve into that mindset again, that let's just enjoy it. Let's do cold therapy. Let's get out there and put our feet in cold, and then we can come back in and have some hot tea or take like a warm bath. But like, let's embrace this season was probably the best thing that I've learned this year. Embrace this season. It's not always going to go how you plan it to be, and that's totally okay. It's amazing to just flow with it. And the other thing that I really am so grateful to have learned this year is to sit with my emotions. To know that flight, fawn, freeze happens for a reason. And in the moment, it doesn't feel like that. Like, it feels so overwhelming to have that emotion, but I feel like I've gotten a lot better this year with sitting with it, with breathing through it, with doing meditation, with journaling about it, and realizing that my emotions are valid, but they're not always rooted in a shared reality. That's something that I always try to say to myself, and sometimes in other relationships in my life, because it's just an amazing thing when you realize that you are in control of your own brain for the most part. And I'm really grateful to have learned that a lot in the last couple of years, but I feel like I'm definitely getting better at perfecting it this year. And I'm just super happy to have met a lot of different people this year that are doing really great things with mindset, with their permaculture, with their families, with cooking, with their gardening. That to me, like finding community. It's my last thing I'm going to say, that I really am so grateful to have had this year. It's beautiful. Humans are beautiful. You're beautiful. I'm so glad to make it one more year, and got a lot more to go. I'm gonna live forever, really. So, but I love you guys. Hope you have a good night.